So, all right, so you're not pissed off at me? Don't want to leave the pod because I chose
No,
this film or
no,
anything?
no,
Okay, it was
absolutely
just
not.
okay, cool. It was a wild bit of inspiration. I don't know
Yeah,
where it came
yeah.
from, but I thought, I mean, it works. We've watched Scream.
Yeah, exactly.
It is satirical of horror films
Mm,
and a whole
yeah,
bunch of stuff.
yeah. And
So I
like
think
I
it does work.
reckon,
Yeah.
yeah, I reckon the first one does a really, really good job of parodying Scream. And I know what you did last summer. Like it does a really, really good job of it.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that they put thought into it.
Of actually interweaving a hybrid
Mm,
movie of the two as
yeah,
well. That was
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah,
It was actually
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah,
This isn't a horrible film. This isn't a
yeah,
horrible
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like my favorite aspect of it is the Gale Weathers character
Mm,
because
hmm
it's a similar kind of
hmm
like okay, yeah, let's do like
Yeah,
weather
but just kind
related
of
name, but she
yeah.
looks like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, and but she's harder though as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
She's
oh. And then the Sarah Michelle Gellar character from I Know What You Did Last Summer, her character's name in Scary Movie is Buffy.
yeah. I've got yeah,
And
I'll
then
bring that up.
yeah, and
Thank
it
you for
just
reminding me.
oh.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the
What's it?
opening, the
Mm,
opening, it's the cold open from Scream, but that character's name is Drew.
yeah, I'll bring it
Like,
up. No,
love
yeah,
it.
because they do actually have that all written up on the
Mm,
Wikipedia
yeah.
in
All the
full
different like the
detail.
references. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's explain. I'll explain myself there, Dorian, to the
Okay.
children.
Your thought process.
Yeah, why we're doing scary movie. Um, we're going from tier 2 to 3, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Yes.
And after watching Human Centipede 2 again,
Oh.
and I do like it. We're going to do it. That's what's coming next. We are going to do that next. And then the stuff that's coming on this tier, this is where it does get fucked up, children. This is where it does actually get into
Yeah.
the yeah, this is this is why you'll hear movies.
Yeah,
And
yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
we
Yeah.
could lose a lot of people. That's okay. I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd lighten things up, and we have done Scream. We haven't done I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we have been discussing. Yes, you overheard.
Mm.
Hello, welcome to Evil Popcorn. Thank you again, Dorian. Say hello, Dorian, to the children.
Yes. Hello, Dorian.
Thank you again for joining, and thank you, sorry, for agreeing to do this.
Oh,
Yeah. What's your
wait,
history? Well, how do you feel? Keep
so
going, keep going. I
I
just wanted to do the intro. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I watched not all of them, but a decent chunk of the scary movie movies before I'd seen a lot of horror. So I watched
I
so I
remember you
watched Scary
saying
Movie.
that's
Yeah, I
part of
watched
my
Scary
reasoning to
Movie
watch this as well. Yeah, just low
before I
key.
even watched, yeah, before I even watched Scream. So then when I finally did watch Scream and I went back and rewatched Scary Movie, I'm like, okay, I get it now.
hmm
But
hmm
this
hmm
franchise is something that every so often I will go back and rewatch them all, like back to back.
All of
At the
them, all
moment, there's
five. You've seen
all
five.
five. Yes, I've seen
Okay.
all of them. They're apparently doing
Okay. Yeah.
earlier,
Break through the news. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
earlier I think yeah, a couple of months ago, I think it was.
Okay. Was it
They said that they were going to be doing another scary movie. I haven't heard anything further from them. So,
through Paramount?
um, yeah, but
Yes, through
I'm really
Paramount.
interested. Yeah,
And it's the
I'm.
producers of
Hmm.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I know. That's what I
Hmm.
learned today.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see like what the main storyline is going to be, like which movies they're going to have for their main because all of the scary movies, they have one or two main movies that is the overall storyline that they're following. So the first scary movie that is Scream
Okay.
with a bit of I Know What You Did Last Summer. The second one, that one's a little bit iffy. It feels a little bit like House on Haunted Hill to me.
Yeah, but then
That one's a little bit, yeah, all over the
there's
place for
a
that.
yeah, it
The
is a
third
little low
one
place.
that's
I didn't
like,
like it. I didn't like the
yeah,
second one, to be
yeah.
honest. That's where I kind
Yeah,
of
I mean
capped it after
Tim
that.
Curry was great, but yeah.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah, the
sure,
third one
absolutely.
is essentially Signs and The Ring and The Grudge, kind of the same thing combined for their overall storyline. The fourth one is War of the Worlds, but then also a bit of Saw, as in the aliens is
Mm,
like
makes
the
perfect
Billy the
sense.
Puppet face. The opening for that is Dr. Phil and Shaquille O'Neal locked in the bathroom together. That's the opening for Saw 4. Saw
That's
5
kind of great. That's
is,
kind of great.
yeah, the main storyline for it's that one's the one that is the most iffy in my mind because that's not like the main like Anna Faris and and Regina Hall and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But that one's like the movie Mama. All that I can remember for the most part for that is the opening, which is a parody of Paranormal Activity, and it's Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan, and it's
Hmm.
Paranormal Activity. That's the main thing for that. Ashley Tisdale is the
Hmm.
main actress in Scream 5.
Uh,
And yeah, I don't remember that movie very much, even though I've seen it many times.
right.
So,
Okay.
but
Um, mm, Ashley Tisdale. Sorry, excuse my ignorance.
yeah, I am not a High School Musical person, but she's from High
Okay.
School Musical.
Don't mind my ignorance then.
Yeah, I don't, again, like I said, I've not seen any High School Musical stuff. I was a little bit too old when that
Yeah, no
became like a
shade.
big thing.
Yeah, no shade,
Yeah,
no shade. It's not
but
just not for
yeah,
me, not for me. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course, of course. The Wayans Brothers produce series. But I'm just trying to see if the Wayans can come back for number six if they're being allowed back. Because I don't know the exact
Ooh.
details, but I know they lost a lot of control,
Yeah,
creative, and
yeah,
production control. Yeah,
yeah,
over the years. Because do you know any exact details on that, or just generally they just lost control
yeah,
of it?
yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of the cool thing with Scary Movie, which is I think
Mm,
also why I wanted to bring it to the pod, well, why I felt justified doing a little bit of research on this
yeah.
today. Um, is that this is the first black produced movie in
Yes.
horror, pretty much. There was this and Big Long Gap, and then there was Get Out.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
and they struggled the Wayans.
Mm.
The Wayans. Are you overly familiar with the Wayans,
Yeah,
Dorian?
all that I know from the Wayans is from the scary movies. Like that's it for
Okay,
me. Yeah.
okay. They've been going for a very long time. They're a family of like
Mm,
9, 10 brothers. They exist in very family accessible comedy, from movies to sitcoms. I'm not a big fan. I've just not
yeah.
grown up with them for a blimmin' long time being a kid in the 80s, and they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
sitcoms all throughout the 80s. I'm very familiar with these guys, and they struggled to put this out, even though they've been hugely successful for
Mm,
decades.
yeah.
But the powers that be will go, hey, no, black people aren't into horror. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm glad this has been put out, and like and
Mm,
people like Jordan Peele exist. It's a shame
yeah,
they
yeah.
nothing else except these guys, because
Yeah.
this ain't horror. This children, yes, this is as far as we'll
Yeah.
ever get away from horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It feels, yeah, obviously it's a parody, it's a comedy and all that kind of stuff. And it references other movies that were like big like there's a Matrix reference in this movie, for instance.
mhm.
It references other stuff that isn't strictly horror, but you can tell that there's a lot of care put into like those references, parodying these things from these horror movies, some of which are just so much detail and so much thought put into it. So it's like, yeah, you obviously give a shit about making like a good horror parody. It isn't something that's just like oh,
Hmm.
okay,
Oh yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know, just you're
Yeah.
like, I don't watch horror movies, and this is what I know about horror movies as someone who doesn't watch it, and therefore I'm going to make a movie parodying
Hmm.
that. It doesn't feel
Hmm.
like that. It's
Hmm. No,
something
it
that's like,
doesn't.
okay, you've obviously seen these movies in order for you to
Yes.
make the kinds of references that you're making. It
And
isn't just a
mm,
passing, okay, that's it.
no, they've sat down with these movies
Mm,
and studied them in
yeah,
detail because the script
yeah,
is solid and the weaving together
mm,
of the two stories to create their own hybrid spoof of
yeah,
the two. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually done really quite well. Yeah. I
yeah.
may not like everything that's in it.
Oh yeah, it's very much a product of its time.
Mhm, mhm.
A parody comedy thing from the 2000s.
We have to
It
touch
has
on
all,
it a
yeah,
little because there's a lot in
yeah,
this. There's a lot at
yeah.
times. There's a lot.
Um, yeah. In the same way that Hostel, very much a product of its time, and the kinds of like, oh, well, that's gay.
This is the
Um,
comedy
yeah.
on the other end of
So
the
there's
comedy
a
spectrum.
shit, yeah, a shit ton of
Yeah.
gay jokes in a way that is homophobic.
No, yeah.
There's an unfortunate, incredibly transphobic
Hmm.
sequence,
Hmm.
which is the main reason why I don't enjoy this movie as much as I do otherwise would,
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
of that
fair.
character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that I
Um,
all I wrote down was the character's name in the notes, and
yeah,
I just left it at that.
yeah,
I just left it at that.
yeah,
This is as much as we can
um,
discuss, and we'll passing by. There's this
yeah,
character moving on because
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a bit fucked. It's
Yeah.
a bit
Like
fucked.
it's something that if you didn't live during that time period, you know, if you're younger and you're watching it now, it's not like it's going to
Mm.
be a lot more difficult to actually be able to sort of watch it
Mm.
because you don't have that knowledge of this is what it was like back then. This is a movie that is a product of its time. It doesn't mean that that stuff
Mm.
at the time was okay, but it wasn't something that was bigger picture considered, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. That wasn't really a thing that was
Mm.
thought about at the time.
Yeah,
And so
it wasn't as
yeah,
considered, the
yeah,
ramifications of putting
yeah,
that sort of thing into a movie wasn't considered as much. I
yeah,
mean, a big
yeah,
example, I don't want to harp on this at all
mm,
too much, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because people know Scary Movie, yeah.
yeah,
And if you don't, it's so yeah, it's raunchy and it's raucous, and there's
yeah,
a lot of stuff that doesn't hold up, but there's a lot
yeah.
of good stuff that
Yeah,
does,
yeah. Some stuff
yeah.
is so fucking funny.
Yes,
And this
yeah,
movie was
absolutely.
what start yeah,
Um,
this movie was what started all those parody movies. You had Epic
mhm,
movie, you had Date movie, all that kind of stuff because Scary Movie was so popular and so successful. Like
mhm.
Scary Movie was the first one of those kinds of parody
Oh, was it
movies
the
and they
first? Yeah,
all
okay. I like
yeah,
Scream was the first of the kind of
yeah,
meta horror, the
yeah.
popularization of the meta horror thing. Yeah,
And
cool.
that kind of set that standard in terms of the nature of the comedy and the way that they were parodying stuff. And then in
Yeah,
the same way
yeah.
for any franchise, they just kind of take it and run with it. And okay, like what can we do
Um,
next time? And it just over time isn't quite as good as things continue.
um, yeah.
Um,
No, you're
but
dead
yeah,
right there, Dorian. Because I don't know. Have you ever seen the Naked Guns and the airplanes and
no,
such things? Yeah.
no. I
Um,
keep meaning to watch Airplane because I know that I would
you
fucking
know
love
what
it.
they are, yeah.
Yeah.
OG
Also, yeah.
parody spoof movies, yeah.
Mm, um,
But sorry, just one sec.
yeah.
This movie, Scary Movie, just changed the style, the
Mm,
format of doing a parody of a spoof movie, you know, kind of thing.
yeah.
Kind of reinvented this subgenre, I guess. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Comedic subgenre, it would be.
Mm,
Yeah. But
yeah.
please, after
Yeah.
you.
In the later movies, I'm pretty sure it's from three. But you have the character of the president, and that's played
Oh,
by Leslie Nielsen,
I
which
seriously,
he
that's cool.
yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
Leslie
Okay,
Nielsen,
that's
which
cool.
I haven't
Hmm.
seen Airplane, but I know he's like I assume he's the main actor
Yeah, oh,
in
he
that.
is. No,
Yeah,
he's the
yeah,
hero. He's the face of all of these movies.
yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
yeah.
the
So
the guy. The Jim
hmm.
Carrey's a bad
Yeah, and
example, but you get me. Yeah.
he's fantastic
You like him?
in
Okay.
the later scary movies. Yeah. like
Mhm,
in the movies that he's in, his character in that, he's so funny.
mhm. So
So
you're a fan
ridiculous.
of the style of comedy outside of the horror
Um,
references
yeah,
and framing
yeah.
and coloring? Yeah.
Yeah, partially because of the knowledge of the time period that it was made in, and then also just who the clearly intended target audience is. With all of that in mind, then yeah, I love it.
Okay, sure,
If
cool.
that
Yeah,
wasn't
I like
a
that.
contributing factor,
Mm.
then it would be really, really difficult for me to get into because I would just find it just like, okay, yeah, sure. But that said, like for instance, in the cold open for this movie, it's the exact same cold open that you have in Scream.
Mm.
Um, but
The
you know,
popcorn
there's these,
quiz.
yeah, yeah. So there's like the little moments where like here's like these two signposts, safety or death, and she runs towards the death. Here's all these items
So
that she could
fucking goofy
potentially
though.
pick
Yeah.
up to defend herself. And
It's
you know,
so visual,
genuine
pancake in the
weapons,
face, gag
genuine
shit.
weapons. And then there's a banana. She picks up the
Yeah,
banana. Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's funny. And then she's
Yeah,
got
oh
the
it
Jiffy
is.
Pop, the popcorn,
It's
and it's just getting bigger
dude,
and
so
bigger and bigger.
goofy. It's so
Like
goofy.
there's a thing in Scary Movie 3 where you've got the sheriff and she's
Mm.
got like the standard sheriff hat. And for no reason, it's never addressed, it's never acknowledged, but every single time the shot cuts back to her, the brim of her hat
Okay.
is bigger. Every
That's
single
yeah.
time. Again, it's never acknowledged. No one acknowledges it, but it's happening,
No, you
and
gotta
it's
play it
just
straight.
so
You gotta
funny.
play it straight.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
Okay.
And it's just
Hmm.
massive by the end of that whole scene. Oh my God. Like, there's some genuinely
Okay.
really funny stuff. I like the bit where
Mm.
Ghostface is there, like hiding and taunting Cindy. And she's like, yeah, I can see you.
Well,
You're
that's
hiding
great.
behind the
All right.
couch. Like,
That's a great moment. All right,
oh,
we'll go over major bits. We'll go over our
yes.
favorite bits.
Yeah.
My favorite bits straight out in
Yeah.
and reporting from Black
Yeah.
TV, white people are dying. We're getting the fuck out of
Getting
here.
out of
Roll,
here.
Jack, roll.
Yeah.
Roll,
White,
motherfucker.
white people are getting killed. Let's get out.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffy
Oh
dying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
being sort of and just
Yes.
like
Yes.
mocking the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
trope.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's Tatum in the garage in Scream with her, you know, being like, oh no, like please don't kill
Hmm.
me. I want to be in the sequel. And she's mocking
Hmm.
it. In
Hmm.
this one, it's
Hmm.
taking that mocking to such an extreme, like, oh no, you stabbed me. Oh, now I'm
Hmm.
bleeding. Oh, I guess I'm gonna like
Oh,
try to run away and then I'll break
oh,
my leg. And then so she breaks her leg. And like the ghost
oh.
face is just standing there
The
like
only bit
watching,
of
like, what
gore,
the
I would
fuck?
argue the
Yeah,
only bit of gore is her breaking her leg and a bit
yeah,
of knee bone popping out.
yeah.
Yeah. Only bit of gore in the whole movie, but it was good. It
Yeah,
was
and then he
funny.
decapitates her. She's like, "Ew, I guess now I'm a gross decapitated
Hmm.
head."
It's like, about talking about taking
Oh.
these things to an extreme, the
Mm,
parodying these scenes and
yeah.
taking it to an extreme, the garage door death scene.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
and then just the
her
building, the
trying to
garage collapsing. Yeah, it was on the
her trying to
nose, funny,
climb
but on the
in
nose.
her trying to climb in through the little door
Yeah,
and just and the like
babe,
her doing all that and just
it's
Ghostface
not
just
gonna work.
standing there watching, being like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
also, like, Ghostface is really clumsy. Like, at one point, he goes to chase, stumbles and falls over because
Hmm.
Ghostface in the original movie is really goofy and clumsy. He stands back up, he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta stop drinking. Like,
Yeah.
when he's chasing Cindy up the stairs, and it's
Hmm.
like how it is in Scream when
Hmm.
Sydney is getting chased up the stairs, but then throwing all
Those are
this
the
stuff down.
visual
Here's a
shot. Yeah.
bicycle.
Hmm.
Here's a bicycle. Here's
Um,
grandma tossing grandma down. The piano doesn't get
there,
Ghostface, gets grandma.
there were a couple of, I don't know if it was, I don't know. Hear me out, because in
Mm,
the I know what you did
mm,
visual references. There's the aerial shots, yeah. They
yeah.
do the
Yeah.
callbacks to it with the
Mm,
aerial shots a lot,
yeah.
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 I don't know if I was seeing things, but there was a little bit of a psycho falling down the stairs
Mm,
moment. Yeah, there was
yeah.
that aerial
Yeah.
shot, there was that framing, and then
Yeah.
grandma came out. I
Mm.
don't know if that was the If you know, you know, little moment they were trying to do there.
Yeah.
I don't know, because this thing
Oh
is
God.
littered with
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is just broken Easter eggs, just fucking
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
pelting you with them.
And
Yeah,
like I
and
love
this is
when
the
they
first one. This
do.
is the most moderate of
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is crazy.
And they do some really
Yeah.
like subtle ones sometimes. Like in Scary Movie
Mm,
2, for instance, there's a
mm.
really subtle reference to the Changeling, I think it is. Like
Okay.
with the like a red ball like bouncing down the stairs.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And it's just that. And it's like that's so subtle and it's not something that's yeah, and it's just
That's not, yeah, no, popular
mm,
culture,
yeah.
Blumhouse only
Yeah,
kind of,
exactly. Like these
that's
really
cool.
subtle ones just really
That's
informs
cool.
you that
Uh-huh.
they clearly know.
They know, then they're
And
very
I'm
referential with
curious
shit,
if
which I
yeah,
like.
I'm curious if the reason why they decided to call it Scary Movie is because that was a
Mhm.
working title for Scream.
Well, Scream. Thank you for me to reference that, to mention that.
And then
Um,
obviously like
mm,
again like I said before, like because of the success of this movie, it meant that all the other parody movies were then like using that same like title like format.
mhm,
But like
mhm.
the yeah, I'm curious as to why they decided to
Date
call this
movie.
movie Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not, there
Because
was
yeah,
not
like
another
date,
teen
yeah,
movie floating around
yeah,
the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like,
But
yeah, so date
not
movie,
a
that's
fan of them.
obviously a yeah, date movies obviously a parody of all those kind of rom-com movies that you go and
Yeah,
see on a
yeah.
date.
They don't look good.
Epic movie,
Epic,
I did
that's
see
another one,
Epic movie.
yes.
I haven't seen date movie, but I've seen Epic movie, and that one's like 300, Pirates of the Caribbean, all those really like summer blockbuster type
Hmm.
movies is what it's
Hmm.
parodying for that one.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's have a look at the cast list, because I've got
Mm,
this list. I've got what it has is actor,
yes.
actress, character, and then based on. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
Scary
cool. Yeah.
Movie 2000. I'll just hold on. I'll just get the
Yep.
basic information out the way. Okay, this is Sean Wayans and Marlon Wayans uh film, essentially. Yes, they're the creative
Yeah.
force.
Yeah.
They're the ones who started it off. It's
Yeah.
directed by Keenan of the Wayans, Keenan Ivory
Mm,
Wayans, starring a whole bunch of people. We're
yeah.
getting to that. Cinematography, yeah, edited by music by this, yeah, because this is a very Hollywood film. Yes, this is a very,
Yeah.
it's distributed by
Mm,
Dimension Films. July
mm,
7th, 2000, 19 million budget. A lot to spend on a comedy,
yeah.
parody film, but it's made 278 at
Mm,
the box office.
yeah.
And this movie was made in 2000. It did fine. It spawned 5 other films. Another
Yeah.
one's coming. It's
Mm,
2024. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy this movie does exist. Not all of it stands up. Some of the
Yeah.
jokes are a bit. Eh.
Mm,
I've
yeah.
even left off one or two because of it. Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to talk. I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of it's absolutely fine. This
Yeah.
is still the horror iceberg. Yeah, this is
Mm,
still the horror
yes. Yeah.
iceberg. Yeah, okay, cool, cool. Because there has been. I feel more kind of nervous talking about a bloody comedy film than about any other horror film ever, or in 2024.
Yeah.
Think
Well,
there's
that's the
something
thing.
for you. Yeah.
If you got stuff that you're playing straight, like that's a lot different to something that's like, hey, let's make a joke about this content.
Mm, it's interesting. It's interesting, yes.
Hmm.
But the thing that you're talking about, you can have them on screen and slaughter it,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
representation of it, and just pull
Mm.
it to pieces. It's interesting. That's all I'm saying. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
But comedy does, I do enjoy comedy. I do like comedy.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty much my second favorite genre, I would
Yeah.
say, after horror. They
Yeah.
ask on Scream Dreams. What is the name of it? I always forget the name of things. I'm terrible with names. Um, these Barbara Crampton's podcast
Yeah.
with James.
Mm. Yeah.
Dead
I think it's
Streams.
Scream Dreams. Yeah.
Scream Dreams, isn't
I
it? Yeah,
can't
yeah,
quite
that's fine.
remember.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They talk about the nightlight there, yeah?
Mm.
What gets
Yeah.
you through. Comedy's mine, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that when I'm tired of looking at the darkness or life has been too dark.
Yeah.
Then there's comedy to counterbalance all that sort of thing. And I do like its satirical
Mm,
use, satirical nature. I think it's a great way to politically look at things, dismantle things if needed,
yeah.
that sort of thing,
Mm,
etc.
yeah.
And I think you need jesters in society. You need the
Oh
fool,
yeah.
that sort of thing. Otherwise, if we all take ourselves too seriously, then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that and all that. So I'm glad we are doing this. I think, yeah, this is a good one to do for the pod. And I think this one is a good film. I don't hate it. I
Mm,
think it's well put together. And it is a part, I think what I will say, it's a part of horror history, definitely,
mm,
for the
absolutely.
impact and influence that it's had. Yeah.
Mm,
So for
yeah.
comedy and horror. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I haven't got that much of a history. I kind of avoided it up until this
Yeah.
point. Yeah. I did number two. I did the second one, children. That's all I'm
Mm,
going to do. Yeah.
uh,
There's other podcasts that have done this film. They've done the other sequels. Yeah.
yeah.
Except if others on the pod all really want, if you really wanted to do it, or if the children out there wanted, then it would be considered. But for now, we'll do this, and then we'll get back to Human Centipede 2 next week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. So that's the blah 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 stuff. Yeah. Scary movie. Yeah, this is an obscure movie. So the cast is cool though, and the way they've laid it out.
Mm,
All right,
yeah.
Anna Faris. That's Cindy
Yep.
Campbell. She's our lead.
Yes.
Now, what's she based on, Dorian? Who's she based on?
Sydney Prescott from
Oh,
Scream, Nev Campbell's character.
absolutely.
Sydney,
Mm.
Cindy. She's brunette in this. The rest of the movies that she's in, she's blonde.
Oh, okay. Better brunette, yeah, just
Mm.
many reasons. But she also plays Julie James, Jennifer Love Hewitt
Yes.
from I Know What
Yeah.
You Did Last
Yeah.
Summer. It was one of
Yeah.
those here, which I
Her
like, yeah.
her clothes that she wears in the movie is a lot more Julie rather
It
than
is.
Sydney.
Yeah, it is. It is, yes. Because I did sit down and watch it. Yep, that's a
Mm.
movie.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so John Abrams, we can discuss that another time. Because Scream Queen, I know, yes, we can discuss that another time. Scream Queen, we will do it. It's fine. I'll be nice. John Abrams, Bobby Prinz.
Mm.
So John Abrams plays Bobby Prinz. He is Billy Loomis, played by
Yeah.
Skeet Ulrich. That's from
Yeah.
Scream. Yeah, that's who he's based on.
Yeah.
But also Ray Bronson, Freddie Prinze Jr. from I Know What You Did
Mm.
Last Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Marlon Wayans, that's Shorty. Okay,
I
so
love Shorty. Shorty is iconic. I love him.
yeah, he's fine. He's fine
Yeah,
because
I
there's a
love
good
him.
um yeah, you could look at the black characters in this movie and
Mm.
think they're a bit like, what's up? But these were
Yeah.
choices made by two black
Yeah.
writers, one
Yeah,
black
it's
director, all
mm.
produced by a black production
Yeah.
company. And they're
Yeah.
taking the piss out of the white characters
Yeah.
as well. They're taking the
Yeah.
piss out of how all characters were represented in
Yeah.
these movies
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't such a black made movie, then the black characters in the movie and
Would
how
be
they behave and all that kind of stuff would be an
disastrous.
issue. Yeah, it would be an
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
But because it is something that is so like, you got the Wayans and all that kind of stuff, so that is clearly like a choice that they made. They didn't have to, but they decided to. And so, yeah, like as in if you had the exact same characters behaving the exact same way, but it was a
Excuse me.
bunch of white people making that, then it would just hit a lot lot different. So that's why I'm fine with it. I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
yeah,
with it
yeah.
because
No,
like,
you're right.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, you're
sure,
right. 100% agree.
yeah.
100% agree. Yeah. We'll get to the problematic moments as we get to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Without harping on, of course, children, you know us. We would
Mm.
never do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the cars. No, sorry, I just wanted to say that Shorty, yes, he is one of the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which so Shorty's an idiot in the movie, but he helped
Yeah.
put this
Yeah.
well-crafted
Yeah.
script together. This
Yeah.
is a fairly tight script, and just terms of the way they've structured it, which is not fucking easy. Try it. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's fucking not.
Yeah.
Shorty
And the thing is that
meets
they're essentially taking
Randy meets
pre
Jamie
yeah,
Kennedy from
yeah,
Scream.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, that
yeah,
makes sense. That
yeah,
makes sense to me.
yeah,
Do you agree?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a bit like after like that's after the movie's properly finished. There's a little moment where it's essentially the videotape that Randy gives them in 3. That yeah, Randy's sister gives them that Randy has recorded. And it's Shorty. It's essentially that he's saying, but it's a lead in to them doing like a just grabbing a bunch of stuff in the convenience store and bolting. But it's essentially that
Okay.
he's so yeah. So he's
Okay.
Randy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the thing for the writing for this movie, because
Mm,
you're essentially parodying a movie that already exists. So
mhm.
obviously you have to like come up with
Which is already
ways of
parodying
make yeah,
other movies
yeah,
that exist
yeah,
like this.
yeah. So you have to come
Yes.
up with all those kinds of jokes, but you're still making it like a solid story, but then also combining that storyline with the storyline of a bunch of other movies that exist and
Hmm.
coming up with ways to organically reference a bunch of other things. And
Hmm.
it's a lot of,
Hmm. hmm
so a lot of work has to go into something like
Absolutely.
that.
There was a lot of big, a lot of little cards being moved around a table, little
Yeah.
bits of strings and pins
Yeah.
on
In order,
boards to put
yeah.
all this together.
And then to make it a like coherent movie, a
Coherent.
coherent
Yeah.
storyline,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
I
takes a
mean,
lot of work.
so plot details are fleshed out to
Mm,
endings, but they're not really trying to do that because you already know
yeah.
the endings
Yeah,
to these
exactly.
things
Yeah.
anyway. We're not
Yeah.
trying to rewrite this fucking, the endings
Yeah.
to these things. They're not. Yes. Yeah. So which is fine. Which is fine. I think it
Mm,
works actually pretty damn well.
yeah.
Okay. Regina Hall is
Oh,
Brenda. Brenda's amazing. Yeah. In the
Brenda
movie theater.
is iconic.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was cool.
yes.
This is
The
all
way
me
she's
up in
talking
here.
all through it
This
all.
is all
Yeah.
me.
And then Ghostface doesn't even have to do anything because everyone's so mad at her that they're
Mhm.
just taking turns at stabbing
Spoiling
her.
the spoiling the movie. Yeah, her death was amazing. Yeah, but all she
So
made the
good.
most. She made the most before she died. She made the
Yeah.
most out of her scene there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
Now,
Brenda is the best character in the
so they
scary
stay.
movies.
These characters that I've mentioned so far. We've had Cindy, Bobby, Shorty, Brenda. Brenda, sorry, yeah.
Mm.
Do they all are they in all 5?
Um, Cindy and Brenda are the main characters. They aren't in 4, sorry, 5. But they're
Okay.
the main characters in like throughout. Brenda dies in one of them. I can't remember which. And then
Uh,
she's just back
First one.
again.
And yeah,
No,
then
she's
she's
just
back in the
back again.
second
It's
one.
fine.
That this
But yeah,
happens
so
for
like
all of them, that
yeah,
doesn't it? They all die
for
and
the
come back
yeah
like Kenny.
for
Yeah.
the most part, you've got Anna Faris as Cindy and Regina Hall as Brenda. Like they're the consistent ones. Scary Movie 5 doesn't have them, which is to its detriment because like
I could imagine.
Brenda is
I could
amazing
imagine.
and it's not a
Yeah.
scary movie without Brenda.
And Anna,
Shorty
she
is yeah.
plays the
Yeah, she's
mockery
really
of the
good as well.
white
Yeah.
final girl. Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. So Shorty is I can't remember. I know he's in the second one.
Uh, yes.
I don't know. It's been a little while since
Yeah,
I've
sure.
watched them,
No,
so I
that's
don't
okay.
quite
Just curious,
remember.
just curious. But they do die and come back like Kenny. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter. It does
Yeah.
not matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then you've got Sean Wayans as Ray.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll bring this up. Okay, because
Mm.
this is definitely this is definitely
Yeah.
interesting because I
Mm.
will openly admit when I watched this in around 2000 to 2005,
Mm.
this came out in 2000. I laughed. I laughed a lot at
Mm.
this
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was actually the funniest bit of the movie
Yeah.
to me. Now,
Yeah.
not so much. Don't really laugh
Yeah.
at all. Gets tired pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
I
Yeah.
I like the
What do you
bit that
reckon?
I like the bit that first introduces him where he's wearing that tight tank top He's like, oh, does this
Mhm.
make me look gay?
Mhm.
He's like, no. And he like ties it
Mhm.
up and he's like, oh, what about now? Like, that's funny. But then the consistent thing of him being like, because it's unfortunately playing into that trope of him being kind of like manipulating things so then he can like get his rocks off or like see these guys in like this naked situation and this that and the other and just in a predatory kind of way that I not good, don't like that. And so and then also as it just continues throughout the movie it just gets really really old really really fast.
Mhm.
And so I'm
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, it
okay,
does.
yeah,
It
it's
does.
not
Yeah, yeah, that's
funny
the thing.
anymore. I'm just bored
Yeah.
by it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
I get
even if you
putting it
aren't like
there.
feeling offended or whatever, like it's just
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we get the joke. Can
Yeah.
we do something different?
Yeah, 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 definitely. Um, yeah, yeah. I definitely get what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just tricky. Um, Not that it's acceptable at all, but this is
Mm.
coming from a black perspective, putting these
Mm.
characters into the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just tricky coming from a black perspective and how
Mm.
they're looking at comedy and horror and their
Yeah.
own cultural,
Yeah.
social position and
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not acceptable,
Yeah.
but you get me?
Yeah. Yeah. Because obviously
Yeah.
there's a certain in the same way, like I said, where if you didn't exist during the time period that this
Mm,
movie came
mm,
out,
mm,
your perspective of it would be a lot different.
mm.
Obviously, if you are like a Black American, during that time period, your perspective of that is going to be different. That
Absolutely.
obviously we
Of
can't
course.
speak to.
No.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's Ray. That's the character
mm,
of Ray. Ray is openly closeted. Yeah.
openly. That's a good way of putting
Yeah.
it. Openly
To a
closeted. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
clownish,
Yeah.
humorous degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's by Sean Wayans, and he's the other writer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot to this movie for just a fucking
Mm,
goofy ass fucking, parody film.
yeah.
Okay. What else? Sorry. Shannon Elizabeth. Okay, this is by this Shannon Elizabeth plays Buffy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Let's take that name in for a moment. Helen Shivers, played by Sarah Michelle
Yeah.
Gellar. That's from Scream. That's who she's based on.
Yeah.
And no, sorry, my apologies. From I Know What You Did Last
Yeah.
Summer and Tatum Riley, Rose McGowan from Scream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Lachlan Munro, Greg Philippi, if I remember
Yeah.
his name correctly.
Mm.
You know this guy, not Dangerous Liaisons. So what was it called? But it was the '90s version of that with Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Mm.
Uh, what the fuck was that called? It doesn't matter. It was crap. A lot
Yeah.
of these '90s fucking horror movies of
Yeah.
these people weren't that
Yeah.
great. But he was the star of that stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
with this
yeah, yeah.
cast. Yeah, at this time, Barry Cox. And he was Ryan Phillippe, and that's Ryan Philippi. Sorry, my apologies. Lachlan Munro is the actor. He plays Greg Philippi, who's the jock, and he's based on Barry Cox. Ryan Philippi from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes. And he's the kind of psycho jock guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And Ryan Phillippe was the star of a whole bunch of these movies and the '90s versions of Dangerous Liaisons. Can't remember the name of, doesn't matter. Dave Sheridan plays Doofy Gilmore.
Okay. That's another thing to talk about. The character Doofy is incredibly ableist for people with intellectual disabilities. Let's just straight up what that character is. Um, like it's obviously a bit of like a joke on the fact that Dewey in the first Scream is a little bit, just the
Mm,
way that he behaves.
mm,
He
mhm.
comes across as being a little bit bumbling and incompetent.
That's
Not to the
David.
extent, not to the extent that you have for this character though. And like, I don't give a shit about the fact that you have that fun little Kaiser
This
Soze moment at the end.
is a
Like,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the
yeah,
jam stain shit, the smell
yeah,
this, that's my ass. What happened? I went
yeah,
poopy.
yeah,
Did Doofy go poopy?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's very ableist. But
Okay.
again, like I said, this is a movie of its time period,
Mhm, mhm.
where
Yeah,
everyone was throwing
yeah.
around the R slur like it's
Uh,
nothing at
Is it
that time.
crazy?
So,
Is it crazy? Sorry. We're gonna. Because I'm gonna sound not old, but just
mm,
post-COVID time miscomprehension. Does it
yeah.
seem crazy that this was 2000? It's 24 years.
Jesus, 24 years. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. And because you would think that you would align this a lot to, say, 90s, certainly 80s would get a
Mm,
lot of slack for this
yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
certainly before then.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting, eh? Mm,
Yeah.
mm. But again, this is not what this is about. But yeah, it's just
Mm.
interesting to note. Okay, so where are we at? Okay. Did you want to do the plot tonight there, Dorian? I don't mind either
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Rick.
We'll do
So
the
I'll leave
plot.
off who
Yeah.
else? I'll leave else. Who
Yeah.
else? I'll leave out who
We'll
else?
come to it when they become
That other
relevant.
reveal, yes. Um, but yes, of course, that is based on Dwight, Dewey, Riley, David Arquette, and I do think that that was, those little, say, little twitches, those little plays
Mm,
on autism, on being on the spectrum, would have been
mm.
Arquette's choice.
Yeah.
Again, not a bad thing if back then, I think is what we're
Mm.
saying,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, none of
Yeah.
this is of bad intent. But
Mm.
these guys, this is in Living Color. I don't know if you've also heard of Living
Mm.
Color. These are the guys behind it, Living Color, back in the day that had
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, a sketch
Mm.
show like
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, Mad
Yeah.
TV, but
Yeah.
the black version. Jim
Oh
Carrey
yeah.
was just the one
Yeah.
white guy because he could dance.
The token
The
white
token
guy.
white guy was Jim Carrey. Yeah. And they were shock merchants. Yeah, they had
Yeah, yeah,
two
yeah.
gay black clowns. Yeah, and doing that on a black comedy show as black
Yeah,
people for black people, but
yeah,
doing it as the
yeah.
worst representations of black
Uh,
people was their kind of humor. Yeah,
yeah.
and that's
Mm,
kind of what they're applying to here
yeah, yeah.
15, 20 years later.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, which is interesting. Yeah. Okay. Sherry, who? Oh, Terry, Gail Hales, Hailstorm, great.
Mm.
Yeah, she's like Gail Weathers from Philadelphia
Yeah,
or something. Like
yeah,
she'd punch you out at a
yeah,
street fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I just love that they had like she's got one of the iconic Rachel hairstyles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's
Yeah. Yeah. She does. She
Rachel
does.
from
Yes.
Friends.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
because that character in Scream is um Courtney Cox, who is Monica from Friends. So I really love that they just made her Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, subtle. Yeah. No, that is, that is
Yeah,
notable because that's a subtle,
yeah,
that's the thing with the hair they're calling out to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Thank you. Excuse me. Carmen Electra, hilarious.
Mm,
Drew Decker,
yeah,
which is Drew Barrymore, Casey
yeah,
Becker from Scream, and
yeah.
we've gone over the popcorn quiz
Yes.
at the start. Just and let me bring up the
Oh,
rest of the walkthrough here. Now we can start there. We can start there because
mm,
it's quite.
yeah.
Yeah, it had some extra little
Oh,
additions, its own little touches.
mm,
That's for goddamn sure.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know Carmen Electra?
I The reason why I know her is because of her being in Scream. I mean, sorry, Scary Movie.
Hmm.
And then from that, it's like, oh, okay. This is the person that she is, like outside of like her being in Scary Movie. This is
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah,
Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
But I mean,
Basically,
like they had in Scary Movie 3, they had Pamela Anderson in the cold open.
that's funny.
Like
Really,
they have
really.
all those kinds of character,
Okay,
all those
okay,
actors and
okay.
actresses just for like little bit parts.
Yeah. Did it become a bit of a like a little sign of status, rite of passage to get onto one of these films. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Seems
Yeah,
like it.
yeah,
Seems like it.
yeah.
Okay, so yes, we've opened with a popcorn quiz featuring Carmen Electra as Drew Decker. Her media role as a sex symbol, where she was
Yeah.
like all through the 80s and the 90s, this chick, like Tommy Lee, Motley Crue was with for a long
Yeah.
time, is highlighted and used as joke fodder. Now,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
not
He's like,
gone.
when he's
Let's
like,
go.
I want to know who I'm looking at, which is from Scream.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him and he's looking at like a magazine that she's, these like
Playboy,
covers
upside
of
down,
her in
full
that,
flaps
you know,
open. Yeah.
so same in that. And then a little bit later, I want to see what your insides look like. And then she's like, oh, well, in that case, turn to page 54 or whatever it is. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's blatant. It's blatant. It's
Oh,
blatant. Um, yeah, I have certainly have not gone over beat by beat, joke by joke,
no.
children, because
No.
we would be here
Yeah,
till Monday.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to deliver this sort of film. I'm not
No.
the comedians.
No.
You'd have to construct a whole fucking radio play to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything you want to call out that you remember like that, please do. Prince is the boyfriend tied up on the chair on the patio.
No, that isn't her boyfriend. Yeah, sure, she's fucked him a couple of times, but
Prince represents the boyfriend from Scream. He's taken the place of, but fucked a couple of times. Prince. And I don't remember, I don't know. I thought, should I look it up? And I went, no, I don't care. I don't care if she did. It's their business. The popcorn elf, what did you call it? The Jiffy
Pop.
Yeah.
Jiffy Pop.
It's about to bust. It's about to explode all over the kitchen. Carmen beats up trick-or-treaters with a baseball bat. Yeah. Casey, whatever you want to call it. Why? Just to show it's Christmas, this is Halloween, just to position us.
That made me laugh so hard. Because, she's grabbed a baseball bat. She's opened up the front door because, she's like, here's this person, being creepy and all that kind of stuff. Opens up the front door, instantly just starts wailing on whoever's at the door. And it's a bunch of little, like, kids, trick-or-treaters. Oh, I can't feel my legs. Oh, my God. Like, that always makes me laugh so hard. Just the way that it's revealed that it's a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm. And this is 5 minutes in max. We've already, beaten up a bunch of children.
Not even 30 seconds into the movie and there's a fart joke. Just so you know, like the overall tone and maturity of these movies.
The kind of comedic delivery, the tone of the comedic delivery, its pitch is like Anchorman. Yeah. It's a boom, boom, jokes. Yeah. For like an hour and a half. I think it's 89 minutes. Yeah. Okay. You've pointed out she chose a banana from the weapons to fight Ghostface. There was a grenade.
So many.
Yeah. Really
There's
nice.
So many.
Knife,
and
really
she
nice
just grabs the banana.
Yeah. So this is real. This is basically like the contemporary horror equivalent of waka waka waka.
Honestly,
eyes in the face
is.
Shit. Yeah. She runs to the lawn, so this is all parodying the classic opening, the classic scene we all know and love well, and is stripped by Ghostface. Article of clothing, article of clothing.
The sprinklers come on, and then you got like her doing like a slow motion run through it, and then posing all sexy and all that kind of stuff. And then she sees Ghostface and starts running again. He goes up to her, grabs her, stabs her in the chest, but rips out the breast implant. So she's able to keep running.
This is a nice it's a nice little. There's nice little inversions of the castings of original films in this movie as well, and this is a nice little, little comment on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the silicon, yeah, it comes out, keeps running. Slow-mo through the sprinklers. We mustn't
Yeah.
forget there
Yeah.
is the slow-mo
Yes. It's
before that.
slow-mo.
Yeah.
And she's
That,
posing all sexy as though, there's an audience there that she needs to
yeah,
pose for.
which Carmen is very much known for. This is
Mm.
just playing
Yeah.
on, the casting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
1,000%. And Carmen loves it. This is,
Yeah.
yeah, she's cool. She's cool.
Yeah.
Parents run over. Sorry, run
But
over
she goes flying. Like, so
their
she goes
daughter.
into the road, is there like
Yeah.
calling out, because their car's coming. She's like, oh,
Mhm.
help me, help me. And then it's her parents.
Mhm.
Dad's too busy getting roadhead.
Yeah, the old Gluck Gluck
Yeah.
3000. Shout
Yeah.
out Gina Schwartz for
Yeah.
that one.
I'm out here like, okay, like I'm getting thinner vibes right now, but okay. But yeah, so they end up hitting her and she just goes over the
Mhm.
bonnet, over the windshield, just she gets flung so far from the way
Yeah.
that they hit her.
Roadrunner.
She goes
Yeah, and
flying.
yeah, Woody Woodpecker. Yeah,
Yeah.
Roadrunner styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Delightfully slapstick.
yeah. And then Ghostface kills
Yeah.
Carmen slash Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cindy and Bobby bedroom scene. We all remember this from Scream. Okay, so we're very
Yeah.
much, at the start of Scream here. Okay. Dad is going away for the weekend on a business trip, but he
He's a
takes a
drug
moment.
dealer. He's a drug dealer.
She is drug dealing human
Oh
Dorian
my
with his
God.
daughter. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was an
I
odd
don't know.
moment.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. Like it's so stupid, but for some reason it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
why it's so
I
funny.
think it's because the guy who plays the dad, actually, I think just came to me that he plays him really
Mm.
well. Just that
Yeah.
pathetic,
Mm.
needy manipulator
Yeah. I
who
think
doesn't want to do it. He's
also
just really
mm,
good at doing it though, and he can't
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
because like obviously you got like Bobby's come up and given Cindy a fright and all that kind of thing. So dad has come in
Mm.
and been like, oh, like what was that scream I just heard? She's like, oh, nothing. And then he's like, oh, must have been that crack I smoked earlier. And it's just out of nowhere. And he doesn't look like the kind of person to be smoking crack. And he says that. And it's just for some reason, it's just too funny. I don't know, like, and then yeah, he's there saying like, oh, I gotta go away for the weekend, because some
Mm.
new business partners of
Mhm.
mine, blah blah blah. It's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
Uncle Escobar. And I'm like, yeah, well, some people didn't get their money, and some kneecaps are gonna have to be broken, and I need to be out of the place for a
Yeah.
while, and
Yeah.
saying like,
Yeah.
giving her all this stuff, like, in terms of like, if the cops come, flush the stash. Here's this, that, and the other, and then like. But I've also kept a little bit, in the cookie jar for you. And, but before you do anything with it, make sure you stomp on it. And if you're going to cut it, make sure you cut it with baking. And she's like, baking soda? He's like, yes, baking soda, not baking, and just,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's delightful. It's heartwarming. It's a
yeah, yeah,
heartwarming moment
yeah.
between
This little
father and daughter.
father-daughter moment.
It's not fucked up.
No, it's totally fine.
And low key, listing drug use at all.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, but my main point of it, why I think it's in there, is because it's a good commentary on the useless character of the dad in the first
Mm,
Scream
yeah.
movie, and this
He's there,
setup at the
yeah.
start, yeah, that this
Yeah,
ridiculous
he's
reason
there.
that he just suddenly
Mm,
goes away, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's there purely as a red herring.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's a little. I don't know if it's a dig,
Mm,
but it's a little. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a little examination on that.
yeah,
Yeah, it could be just me, but I'm just yeah. That's what I
yeah.
think. Okay. Bobby emerges from hiding and says that he was watching The Exorcist and was thinking of Cindy. Now, we went over this with Scream there, Dorian.
No,
Remember?
but it's different here. Because then she's like, oh,
Mm.
if you're talking about the time I puked green puke and masturbated with the crucifix, like, that was my first keg party, Bobby. He's like, no, I meant that it was like edited for TV. Like, all the good stuff was cut out.
It's like, yeah, yeah. And again, it calls it calls attention to that what the fuck moment in Screen.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that in the dialogue? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's a good start. I think it's a good start at
Mm,
this point. We're at
yeah.
school. We meet
There's
Shorty
no,
and
no, there's a bit,
sorry,
there is a bit
please.
during that scene that
Oh,
always
sorry,
gets
I've jumped ahead with my eyes.
it
Yeah, go
always
for
gets
it.
such a huge laugh out of me because the two of them are there making out. And for whatever reason, the music from like Dawson's Creek, I never watched Dawson's Creek. Yeah, I never watched Dawson's Creek.
I did a little bit.
My point of reference is from Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, which so good, it deserved more than 2 seasons. But James Van Der Beek is in it. He's one of the main characters and he's playing himself. So that's my point of reference for Dawson's Creek. But like, so Cindy and Bobby are there making out in bed, and that music is playing, and they're just randomly out of nowhere.
That's great.
James
It's
Van Der
great. Let's
Beek
not
pops
forget
up,
that. Yes. We cannot
and then he's
forget
like,
Jason
"Oh,
Van Der Beek. Yeah.
wrong set," and then leaves. Like, why
Mhm.
was that there? I don't know,
Um,
but it makes me laugh so hard every single time.
I don't really need to check the dates. Dawson Creek was huge at that time.
Yeah,
Van Der Beek is a funny dude. He does like his
yeah.
comedy and such. Yeah.
I highly recommend watching Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment
Yeah, no, I
23.
would.
It's so
Anything
good.
weird that he was in? Yeah, I know he likes to
It's
dabble
so good.
socially
Yeah.
after Dawson's Creek. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious with that fucking song and
Yeah.
shit, like during the early 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And there was the chastity belt electric
Oh yeah.
fence
Yeah.
stops the makeout session at the end. Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of maturity level we're
Yeah.
at here, people.
Yeah. But
But
then
that's also the point.
in the same way that Sydney flashes Billy,
Mhm.
Cindy does that to Bobby, and you see it, and it's just like a hairy man chest.
Yeah, like a 40-year-old dad bod,
Yeah.
chests. Yeah, very hairy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny, and this is just kind of a flip on,
Mm.
the abstinence that
Yeah.
it's between Cindy and Bobby that Bobby is trying to be okay with. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cindy's choice. At school, we meet Shorty and Brenda. Okay. Sorry, what did I put there? Not Shorty. We meet. It's not Shorty. There's school where yeah. Sorry, I'm good. We meet Shorty and Brenda. The Puff Daddy pool party story did not age well.
No.
This recent
No.
watch, yeah, in
No,
2024,
it did
mid to
not.
late 2024 did not age well.
No.
Yeah, not their fault. Not their
No.
fault.
No, they
Um,
didn't. They had no way of knowing.
yeah, we all had an
But yeah, she's
idea.
there
We all
saying,
had
yeah,
an inkling.
yeah,
Sorry, we all
yeah,
definitely had an
yeah,
inkling, but to this extent, oh Jesus
yeah,
Christ, yeah,
yeah,
put him away, put him, just bury, dig,
yeah.
throw, forget about. Buffy reveals her true self. I don't know really how to put that. It's just
Yeah,
really, as Dad leaves,
yeah.
and in turn introduces her to her real self to us. Yeah.
I love that she's there going on, implying that, she's such a like kind and generous person, blah, blah, blah. Which is very much her like pageant kind of character. But then
Yes,
there's
and
that
teen queen,
yeah,
prom queen, whatever
yeah,
it's called.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then the homeless guy like ask her for $1. She's like, "Ew, get the fuck
Get away
away
from
from
me, you dumb.
me!" And then Cindy, she's like, "No, it's okay. Like,
Yes.
okay, I'll give you some food, because and then
Yeah.
as they're walking away,
the
he's like,
angel as
"Hey,
well.
I asked for money," and just throws
You
the
bitch,
sandwich.
you bitch. Throws it, yeah.
I wanted money, not this sandwich.
Um. Yeah. Does happen. So, it's saying a lot for all the stupidity. Okay. Gail Hailstorm shoots annoying teen dancing behind her while she's trying to get a nice clean shot, a nice good take for a news channel.
She's so
I thought
good.
that was good. I thought that was good.
Great.
Okay. All right. So they've amped up her character, definitely.
Yeah.
And then there's my favorite moment, which I kind of said somewhere in the beginning, reporting live from Black TV, white people are dying and we getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Loved it, loved it. All right, Rayan is closeted homosexuality. Is what did I call it? Openly
Yeah.
closetedness. Yep, we've done that. Bobby is trailer trash in his own school. Okay.
Like, oh, have you guys seen Bobby? No, I haven't yet. It's so weird that he's always late when he lives so close. And then it cuts to the trailer that he lives in. He's emerging from the trailer. He calls in there saying goodbye to so many people. So many people live in that small trailer by the sounds of it. And he leaves. And he's literally like right in front of the stairs leading into the school. But then you also have Greg there like getting all worked up over his report card. There's just a bunch of F's and then with the big dumbass stamped on it. And Greg is Buffy's boyfriend. He's there, getting all like upset about that. And she's like, oh, well, look, you got at least one A from the dumbass stamp.
Yeah, it's just
like, oh my God, you're so smart, baby. Oh, they're making out. Like,
they're a lot.
Oh.
One thing that I did like that they did with Greg's character, because he represented Bobby from I Know What You Did, is when they had him randomly, which I didn't get until I went and watched I Know What You Did. They had him randomly attacking Cindy's character, like choking the shit out of her, WWE wrestling style, fighting her, because he was also representing the killer from that movie. And in those moments that they were kind of paralleling, shadowing, echoing, better way to put it, it was back to the fisherman and Bobby as the fisherman killer. Spoiler, it's very old. Which I thought, that's clever. Again, little moments in the actual script that makes this film legitimate. Even if you don't like the humor, it is a well put together comedy film. I will agree with that. The second one got wavy. I don't know, lots of drugs involved or something. It got real wavy.
There's some cool, there's some cool stuff in the second one, but that one is a little bit hazy in my memory compared to like the first one and the third and fourth. Like they're the ones I remember best.
And not to digress, and not to distract. But people will be screaming at us because this is a known film. People are going to listen to this episode who know this film, and they know the second one. And there's the famous character from the second movie who appears another one, I believe, and he's got the little hand.
Take how do you feel? Strong hand. Take my hand.
How do you feel about
dishing out the mashed potatoes? I mean, obviously, it's making jokes about
a lot.
Making jokes about limb differences and all that kind of stuff. But like, again, product of its time.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Just wanted to point him out because he is popular, but he's also an extreme example of that as well. All right, okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, here we are. The blend of slashes, Scream, and I Know What You Did. There's no short way to say that shit. I'm just going to say I know, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, cool.
And I mean, those sequels get even more of a mouthful. I still know what you did last
I
summer.
don't
I'll
want to
always know what you did last summer. Like, oh
know.
my God.
Yeah, Scream and I Know is introduced when the entire group sits at the fountain through the discussion of they killed 1 year ago today, because
Yeah.
you have the setup from Scream, yeah, at the
Yeah.
fountain with the group. Yes, it's a close approximation of that, and they're literally talking about the man they killed 1 year ago today. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Okay, and then we get the flashback to July 4th in I Know, and you get the same fucking color palette from the color, grading. You get
Yeah.
the aerial shots, you get coming down
Yeah.
the belt, the mountain belt in the car. See, that should have showed the detail of that, and also
Yeah,
those are
exactly.
helicopters, not drones.
Mm.
I would
Yeah.
wager a bet, yeah?
Mm. Yeah.
It's only 19 million. It's not in 2000, would they have had drones?
Yeah. Um, I don't
I
think
don't think
so.
so.
They wouldn't
No.
be anywhere
Not to
near as
pull off
easily
this shit.
accessible.
And not to pull off
Yeah.
this shit, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make the call and say this is done with helicopter shit. So that's
Mm.
cool. That's cool. And this is of course homages, to Yes, I Know. There is an orgy in the back seat.
Yeah.
No other way to put it, really. It really
Yeah.
is,
Some butt stuff is going on.
Yeah, there's got the
Courtesy
closeted,
of our
yeah,
openly
openly
closeted
closeted.
character.
Yes. Oops, is that my
Unconsensual
hand?
butt
My
stuff.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ray plays It's Raining Men. I thought that was a more
Yeah.
humorous way to treat the joke. I thought there was a better
Yeah.
way to treat the joke
Yeah.
in this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Greg
everyone
stands.
is just giving him a look like, what the fuck?
Because they actually call back to this and actually do the
Mm.
punchline to all of
Yeah.
this later on, which I thought was very nice. Greg stands up through the sky roof, skylight thingy, and
Yeah.
acts like a jock because he is the
Yeah.
jock in this.
Yeah.
This causes a series of events dot 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 ellipsis
God.
that causes the
Yeah.
car to careen into an unknown mass and swerve dramatically into the middle of the road. There's a nice aerial shot reference again of everyone getting out of the car, the
Mm.
four doors opening at once. Okay. Yeah. So you're with me? You're all good? Yeah. At this,
Yeah.
yeah, we were right. Okay, cool. The boot joke was really good. The boot joke, because that is stupid,
Yes.
and I know
Yes.
this whole segment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know it's a classic to people, but this bit, where's the foot? Yes, and it's like, yeah, where is the rest of the dude?
Yeah.
Hang on. He's 2 to
I love
5 feet ahead of you in both
I also
movies.
I also
In
love
both
yeah.
movies, Dorian.
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
really love that during this whole sequence with them having a freak out and trying to decide what to do, the guy's fine.
No,
He's like,
that's
no, I'm
great.
good. I'm good.
Yes. Which is a
Don't
great little
worry. I'm
nod
just gonna leave.
to I Know that they killed a man who was
Yeah,
fine,
yeah,
who
because
would have lived.
that's the twist. That's the twist that he was
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
But yeah, he's like, no, I'm actually good. Don't worry about doing all
yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
okay.
These motherfuckers have thought about these references to these
Yeah,
jokes because they know we're little meta horror Easter egg nerds looking for all of this
yeah,
shit. Go, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, where's the foot? Fisherman being fine was a nice nod, yes, towards its filmic source. The group robs the body before pushing it off into the pier.
yeah, yeah. Because
Everyone.
they're like, oh, has he got a wallet on him? Like, because I mean, we've already killed him. We may as well rob him.
Yeah,
We've gone
everyone.
this far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not just the black characters.
Yeah,
It's everyone. Yeah, it's great. Into the pier and into the watery grave below. Yes, I put that there. Greg is doing a nice over-the-top job of being Barry as he chokes Cindy to promise to keep a pact of silence. Yeah,
yeah,
that's where the one-to-one, filmic kind of reference
yeah.
was there. Yeah. Cut back to the fountain and the group mocking meta horrors in the age group of its castings, adults playing teenagers.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was funny. Like that. We get Special Officer Doofy and Gale Hailstorm. They meet for the first time, of course, being all reminiscent of the romance of Scream. yes, of the beginning, the meet cute of
Yeah.
the romance of Scream. Yeah. But this isn't cute.
No.
Nah. This is
She's
flatulent,
intent yeah.
horny,
Yeah.
and weird.
Yeah. She's
And
she's intentionally seducing him to get information out of him because he's part of law enforcement. And the fact that he is intellectually disabled, she is doing it in a very infantilizing kind of way. And and it's just,
this, yeah,
yep,
there's
that's the thing
one,
that's happening. And
there's one
it's
line in
really,
this.
yeah, it's really weird viewing it back, knowing that Doofy has that like Kaiser Soze moment at the end. Um, and so all of that was just an act. So it's like, okay, like I don't know how I should feel about it because as it's happening, as far as he is an intellectually
Oh,
disabled character, intellectually disabled person. But then it turns out that he isn't. So it's like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't know how to
mm,
feel about it.
I get entirely your look at it there. You're
Yeah.
what you're reading
Yeah.
there, and
Mm.
it's not invalid at all. I don't think it's intentional. I don't know if they're smart enough
Oh
for it to
no.
be, and I also
They wouldn't
don't
have
know.
had like that
No,
knowledge
smart's
and
not the
like
word.
to
I
think.
don't
Yeah,
think
they
they're
wouldn't be thinking about that.
intentionally
Yeah. They
pervy
would
enough
not be
because that
yeah.
adds a
Mm.
bit weird layer of
Yeah.
perversion to
Yeah.
it
It's not
as
something
well.
that they would be thinking about at
Again,
that
more
time.
so than it already
Mm.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is a weird little, because there is that
Mm.
line with the
Yeah.
age of Chewie
Mm.
and not to go into details, but it's like, yeah, okay, the
Yeah.
Scream thing was already weird because Gail was already
Yeah.
being manipulative of Chewie because of a little
Mm.
something.
Yeah.
This is just fucking, yeah, getting the rubber
Yeah.
chicken out and
Yeah.
squeezing and honking it in this moment.
Yeah.
Again, waka waka waka.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you don't look a day over 12.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And yet you're still planning
Mhm,
on okay.
mhm. And if you haven't seen this, the visuals, can't be bothered bringing up a picture of them because it is also a lot. Don't want to kind
Mm.
of like promote it too
Yeah.
much, but
Yeah.
he has written his name literally
Yeah.
in children's scroll on a
Mm.
stick-on for his,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's got a little backpack and he may as well be wearing a
Yeah.
noddy hat with a propeller,
Yeah.
the way that he looks, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's taken
Yeah.
to a, big extreme. All
Yeah.
right, in class, Candy sees Ghostface through the window on the lawn. He hides behind a tree when she looks the other way.
It's so dumb. The way
Dee,
he's
dee, dee,
going
dee, dee,
is
dee, dee.
I love him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Ghostface is funny in this, actually. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Note, I know what you did last Halloween is found by
Mm.
Cindy on the desk, folded, yes? Then there's the dream
Yeah.
scene of a romantic sausage picnic. I didn't really know how to write
Oh my
this.
God. It's Cindy and Bobby, and they're having a fun little picnic. Real cute. And then yeah, he's basically like shoving a sausage in her mouth in a very like
Mhm,
imagery of a blowjob.
mhm.
There you go. Else is happening
Yeah,
there.
that naughty little boys were searched for late at night.
Mm.
Sort of, yeah. And then he finds the note, no, bitch, the guy you killed last year note found underneath.
And the fact that there were two notes and the second note was that, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's good. That's
funny.
good.
That's funny.
Um, and then not so overly funny. Cop, and was this the principal of the school or the
Yeah, he's supposed to be the
bureaucrat?
principal.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. He's very camp.
yeah, yeah, he's actually
And I'm not entirely sure why, because like the principal in Scream is the Fonz. So like I'm not entirely sure
Henry
why
Winkler.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like why do they make him so camp?
yeah. Henry Winkler had the right amount of camp. Henry Winkler's
Yeah,
very good at doing the
yeah,
right amount
yeah.
of camp, actually. It's kind of his thing. Um, but they're crudely discussing Cindy's mum as Cindy
Oh
enters.
yeah.
Yeah, and that I mention that because
Hand
Cindy's
gestures and
mum
everything.
from Scream as well. There's that whole,
Yeah.
yeah, thing.
Maureen Prescott.
Yeah. Doofy enters. He's gone poopy.
God. What is that
Ah,
awful smell? Oh my God.
I didn't really laugh at it in the movie. I'm just kind of there's laughing at just it's kind of like an exhaustion
Yeah.
of how these, because this comedy is
Yeah.
kind of exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially after a while.
Yeah.
Shower scene. Ray is overtly gay, and Greg sees having a small dick as a disability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Yeah.
with me?
He finds a Polaroid stuffed into it, sticking out of his locker that's
Mm-hmm.
of his
And
crotch,
they'll have a big
showcasing the
laugh.
fact that he's got a
Yeah.
little baby dick. That's what he refers to it as.
As a
Calls it a baby
disability,
dick.
like I think he compares
Yeah.
it or even worse to being in a wheelchair
Yeah.
at one point
Yeah.
in the time.
God. Like, no, it's not, dude.
Yeah.
My God.
But someone like Greg would say that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a
absolutely.
real
Yeah.
person in reality, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg slash the fisherman beats up Cindy. Haven't put where, what point happens again. Dumb now. Okay, beauty pageant and the balcony murder. Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
I know what you did. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, scene.
Yeah.
I think it's the kind of big scene of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Buffy is the obvious she's in the contestant, of course. Buffy is the obvious crowd slash judge's fave, with many boyfriends as well as Greg, of course. Yes, Greg discovers this from the balcony.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
calling
not
out like,
happy.
yeah, that's my
Not
girlfriend. And then
happy.
someone else from the crowd. Yeah, that's my girlfriend too.
Buffy's stash. I don't know why. It just happens, with movies and such. Looking the other way on the phone, having a smoke, whatever. Missed the sash the first time. Second viewing,
Yeah.
caught what was
Yeah.
written on it. Yeah.
Miss Fellatio. Yeah.
Jesus. But then we get Buffy's acting scene to a real life murder as Ghostface has been killed above. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
I liked I liked the parody of it, and I also liked the done in the original as well. It was one actual effective moment of I know that I will give it. Was this scene? Was this moment?
Yeah.
And I particularly liked. I don't know if you heard in the audience in the crowd there. Oh, she's almost Pamela Lee. Pamela Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then because Pamela Lee comes back, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buffy is upset over Greg until the loser informs her that she has won and also fuck Greg.
Yeah. Now she's like, oh my God, like I just witnessed my boyfriend Greg get murdered. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, no, like they're calling your name. You've won. She's like, oh my God, I've won. Fuck Greg. I don't give a shit about him. I've won.
Yeah.
She doesn't care anymore about the fact that there's a killer on the loose because she's won. She's won the pageant, and that's all that matters. She's amazing.
Yeah. This actor is doing this archetype character.
Yeah. She turns into a complete bitch from that point onwards.
Of course. Okay, the pageant's host, the old guy. Do you remember his song as she's accepting the crown? Teenage queen, beautiful tits. That's as far as I'll go.
Yeah, these are all a bunch of high schoolers. Like they're supposed to be a bunch of high schoolers. Like,
and I can't
singing about them like that.
I'm not even gonna try to do it well. But it's kind of like how was your Tony Bennett crooning style song there, children, that he's doing this very buddy. Yeah. Cindy's in the bath, just having a bubble bath.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see Freddie. Are they going to do
that would have been really good. Yeah.
They're going to throw him in. Does he get a cameo? But no. It's just the phone rings, and I think it's Bobby, and they just said,
Yeah.
conversation, whatever. And then she shaves again. Certain jokes were like, whatever. Phone rings, and Cindy locks front door. Camera, steady camera coming down the staircase, runs into Cindy's head, and she pushes it away. The fourth wall's broken moment. Yeah.
No,
You
that
like,
moment's so funny. Yes.
yeah, you like that.
Because of the way that the camera's just pushing in, like, which is a standard film technique. And then but then it actually
Very much
hits her in
so.
the
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Ghostface calls from behind couch. Okay, this is a great. This is
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just lay it out, then I'll tell you what I think is really funny about
Yeah.
it. Okay. He's calling from. Okay. He's calling from behind the couch, but his feet are obviously seen. Yeah, but it's his dialogue, is what he's saying on the phone, Dorian. I'm like the wind. Yeah, where am I? And then the feet are seen. And then she tells him, I can see your feet. And then he gets up, goes, hang up. And then
Turn around. I'm gonna go find somewhere better to hide.
And then he gets under the carpet, and for a second he goes, yeah. No. And then he hides behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Like,
And then she just going along with
me.
it.
And
She's going along with it in the way that you would
out.
if you were, in the way that you would if you were playing hide and seek with a child who's not very good at, like, I've done it.
That's exactly what I put down. Then she proceeds to play hide and seek with a child on the phone.
I've literally played hide and seek like that. We're like, oh, gee, I wonder where they are. Oh my God, are they over here?
Yeah. Fucking jinx, because that's exactly what she is doing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so stupid. It is so fucking stupid. It's great. And then I began to fall in love with this the second time watching the thing. No, this is actually, I'm actually enjoying this. This is actually quite fine. This is fine. But his hook's sticking out blatantly from behind the curtain. He's a fucking idiot. Cindy proceeds to play hide and seek with the child. Staircase chase scene contains visual references to Psycho and also From Screen, of course. Bobby returns through the bedroom window, and speaking of Scream, he drops the phone as well as the murder weapons, the knife and the black gloves.
Is that when she, because in Scream, Sydney has that little, like, on her computer way of contacting 911. Is this the scene where Cindy does it? Because she puts, like, white woman in danger, and then like 2 seconds later, sirens blaring, here they are. No, there's a white woman in danger. We need to save her.
Of course. Nice. Yeah. Fuck yeah, hilarious. Doofy at front door with Ghostface mask.
Yeah, he's holding the mask. I mean, that's how it plays out in Scream as well. Like,
exactly.
Sydney opens the door and there's Dewey and he's holding the mask up and gives her a fright. Because Dewey is a bit of a red herring as well. Like he's, is he the guy?
No, it's beat for beat, and the important moments to keep the narrative, keep the plot moving along. Effectively enough. Police station, sheriff. Why? The sheriff's weird, so creepy. Like, don't really do anything wrong. In a legal sense, but in a certain situations it'd be anyway. Sheriff, okay, children, if you haven't seen it, sheriff shows Cindy pics of himself in red briefs like jockeys. You all know the types, tighty whities, but red.
He's
for her.
He's basically presented it. It's in a take a look at these pictures, see if, you have any thoughts about it, anything that's come to mind because of, this investigation that's going on, standard cop stuff, right? But then she opens up the manila folder and it's just photos of him in various different poses in this underwear. And she's like, no. So, like, that's funny to me because it starts out in a legitimate kind of, and then it's just sense.
That.
Like that kind of like bait and switch kind
softens,
of thing. Like,
mitigates the creep to it. Yeah, absolutely. And also he's a this unique looking chap. He's a distinctive
Yeah.
looking chap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But the sheriff pulls all this stuff off though as well because this character of the actor
Mm.
um because he plays it straight. He plays it
Yeah.
deadpan straight a lot of the time,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, works well, knows what he's doing. But anyway, Buffy collects Cindy and castrates a chauvinistic doofy by telling him to lay off sticking his dick in the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, yeah, because you have like in Scream, oh, well, mom says that, when I'm wearing this badge, you have to treat me like an officer of the law.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
mom also tells you to stop sticking your dick in the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a straight callback to that. But just put a pin in that there, children.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. Okay, Gale Hailstorm. I do mention this because it is a part of Scream. It is a
Mm,
funny,
yeah,
funny part of Scream, and she calls her cameraman Chubzilla.
yeah,
So of
yeah,
course they've upped the ante here. I forget
yeah,
what
it's even
Gail
worse. Yeah,
Courtney calls her man. Yeah, it's not cool in that one. It's funny, but not cool as well. And so of course in this they have to amp it up.
yeah, yeah,
And she does amp it up in this, and also by saying that to Sydney that her ass is fat, and then we get
yeah.
the
Your
famous
ass looks
iconic
fat.
punch in the
Yeah,
face from
because
Sydney to Gale.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for all the people who are younger, um yeah, that was a genuine concern back in the 2000s. Your ass being too big.
Yeah.
Because heroin chic was the thing
Kate
in that
Moss, if you want the
yeah,
model influence,
um
the
yeah,
big kind of cultural
yeah,
face of
yeah.
this. Yeah.
If you
And
were if
fashion
you were too
designer,
I don't
Calvin
know. But
Klein.
yeah,
Calvin Klein.
I
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
Basically if you were too skinny, then you clearly were anorexic and that's bad. But if you had even just the smallest amount of meat on you, then you were fat. You would let yourself go, you were fat, etc., etc. So yeah, being told that your ass looked fat, that is like, oh no, we can't have that. That's an ultimate insult. Yeah, the 2000s were a wild time.
I'm beginning to realize that
Boy.
with watching this
Yeah.
movie, part two, and did I watch anything else around this? But anyway, watching these kind of movies doing this pod as well
Mm,
around this
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
the 2000s were kind of wild because the 80s
Yeah.
and the 90s always get that moniker. But now I'm
Yeah.
realizing 2000s had its shit.
Yeah.
2000s definitely had its own shit as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of past times having its own shit, and this I was the 2000s, yeah, and I was there, I was only really in my 20s during the
Mm.
2000s, and I certainly, unfortunately, remember what's up?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up?
What's
Yeah.
up?
Do I need to say any more?
No.
Thank you. All right. Sleepover. Okay, yes. This is the sleepover, of course, after the
Mm.
punch, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then there's Buffy and Cindy back in the bed, and Buffy's all happy wearing the crown,
Yeah.
um, all happy about the punch. But Doofy does know about the fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Buffy is wearing the crown and she's eating a whole pizza to herself. And I liked that. I liked Buffy
Yeah.
and yeah, doing that. I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. Girlfriend calls and Bobby is seen as innocent. Sorry, Ghostface, GF.
Yeah.
Ghostface calls and Bobby is seen as innocent, as it doesn't scream at that point. Yeah. And in the character's perspective, he is seen as innocent. Doofy runs in with vacuum and implores to not be disturbed when he is with his high-powered love. I don't know. It's just, it was in the flow there.
Oh my God. I hope that that's like a separate vacuum and not like the house vacuum cleaner.
It's not.
He has his own special
You
one.
know it's not. Uh, Cafeteria. Shorty at cafeteria literally says that this is like the movie Scream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, oh, fuck, okay. Bath water, no
Yeah.
lead, goat.
Yeah.
Bobby and Cindy confrontation was
Mm.
inconsequential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it
What do you
does a really
reckon?
good
I don't
job.
think.
Yeah,
Please, after you,
yeah.
after
I
you,
mean,
after you.
it parodies that moment in Scream
Mm,
where,
mm,
the same, after Billy's gotten out from being locked up and all that kind of stuff, and the two of them actually having that interaction after Sydney has accused him of being a killer, blah blah blah, and then being like him essentially being like, "Hey, yeah, sure, your mum was brutally murdered a year ago, but like
yeah.
maybe you should get over it." And then
Mm.
her being like, "Well, I'm
Oh,
sorry that my
sorry.
issues are such an issue," and then runs off.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening here. It's been a year. Like, why can't you get over it? No, but Ginger was such an important part of the Spice
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
Like
And then
that's I
the
and then
prison
also
dude
the
coming
way that
along, and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
I don't
because
know.
you
It's
can't talk
just
about you can't talk about prison without talking about rape, prison rape, and making jokes
yeah,
about it because it's a
yeah.
scary movie. We need to make jokes about that.
Yeah,
Um,
it was just a bunch of bad jokes and poor jokes pretty much in a
yeah,
row in this
yeah,
point, and it kind of
yeah.
sunk this reference for
Yeah,
me.
I did really like the way that Cindy ran away though, because she's like running away with the arms playing out. Looks so stupid.
Yeah,
Because
and I
it's making
know,
a joke of in Scream, and it's just a
and
little bit
I know. Do you
more,
know
and
how
it's
much
just
running away Jennifer Love through it
yes.
doesn't I know
Oh my
from
God. Yeah.
situations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's a
but
little both. Yeah.
the what are you waiting for moment in Scary Movie is so good.
We're almost there. Hold on. I think we're almost literally there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because it is good. It is good.
Yeah.
Okay. But vacuum cleaner. Okay. This is light screen. Bobby and Sydney confrontations, consequential. But yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Clarification, edification. Sheriff's press release speech was funny. Dead teens, tragic, but hey, shit happens. Questions.
Yeah.
It's essentially it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's Gale Thunderstorm. He calls it Gale Thunderstorm. I thought that was
Yeah.
funny. Then we get the classroom with Miss Man and the scrotum sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that scene. Now,
Yep.
fuck that bit. But question: did you see the SS uniform in her office? Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like right to my screen
Yeah. It's pretty
left
much everything.
the
That
whole
character
time.
is like, yeah.
I was
God.
like, fuck me. Okay,
Yeah.
locker room. Buffy hears red rum whispered in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
GF appears. Ghostface appears. Buffy mocks Ghostface for being way
It's
too
so good.
90s
Yeah.
horror, this little schmuck. And her current role is his victim being stabbed to death. She continues to scold and harangue the befuddled slasher as she breaks her own leg and then continues on even being a severed head.
Yeah. She's still talking even after he dumps her head
Yeah.
in the garbage bin.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's right. I will not be ignored.
Yeah.
And this is the one moment of gore, which he does, this
Yeah.
does the snap of the
Yeah.
head. This is the one moment I will classify as
Yeah.
gore.
Yeah.
Principal on roof. Here we go. Cindy
Mm.
runs out and does the what are you waiting for? And it's the
Yeah.
helicopter aerial shot,
Yeah.
arms out.
What are you
Jennifer
waiting
Love
for?
breast.
Yeah.
Yes, it's making that whole
Yeah.
mockery of how
Do
she was,
you do you know the
for that
do you
back
know
in the
the
day.
origin? Do you know the reason why that scene is in I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Not at all.
Yeah,
Please
apparently they did some kind of
illuminate.
I mean, this is just from when Dead Meat covered it. So get more info, a little bit more in depth from there.
As always,
But
yes.
yeah, apparently it was literally written by a child, that particular scene. So
Okay.
so yeah, watch the Dead Meat kill count and they'll go into it a little
Okay.
bit more there.
All
But
right.
yeah,
There was a reasoning behind this, not just, hey,
yeah.
this would be a cool idea. Okay. All right. All right. I won't
But that's
judge
why it's just
until
so
then,
weird.
until I've
Yeah,
listened
that's
to
why
it.
it's so weird that moment.
But the reason why it's used here is quite good
It's
because
so
she
good.
runs out. What are you waiting for? And then you hear the principal on top of the roof go, "Yes. What am I wait? What am
Yeah.
I waiting for?"
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just
He's there
jumps.
wanting to jump. He's like, I'm fed up with all this. I can't take it anymore. And there's this crowd of people
These
around,
goddamn
like on the
kids.
ground, trying to talk him out of it and all that kind of stuff. And then Cindy's come out and just starts doing a "What are you waiting for?" moment. And then he hears that and he's like, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, what am I waiting for? Just right next to her. She's like, oh shit. Whoops.
And it is just like splat front.
Yeah.
And then Ray dresses up Brenda as a quarterback,
Yeah.
a male
Yeah.
quarterback in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't really
Because
need to say more.
she's doing the standard thing of wearing his jersey and all that kind of stuff. That's fair enough. But then he's like, you look really sexy wearing that. Like, oh, maybe you should puts her in the entire outfit, and then he's there wanting to do some role play stuff with some, as always, having some fun times with some of his team members. Because, yeah. Once again, openly closeted.
Yeah. Yeah. Gail Hailstorm and her cameraman find Heather at Lover's Lookout in their search for the killer and discover Heather living a horror victim trope.
Yeah.
And Gail takes the piss out of her for it.
That's so funny. Because it's a standard like Hookman, like urban legend thing, right? Like, like what are you guys doing out here? And then like, oh, well, I was here with my boyfriend and we were making out for a while, and then we heard a weird noise and he's gone to go and check that out. But it's been like, I know, like 20, 30 minutes since he's come back. Yeah. And then, and then she's like, oh, well, have you considered that maybe your boyfriend's been brutally murdered and you're next? And she's like,
with the microphone in the
really? And like, she's like stoked about this concept. Like, oh my God, really? Oh,
yeah.
And then literally Ghostface shows up.
The teacher's pet. This is the teacher's
killing
pet.
Her. Yeah. Starts killing her. It's like, no, please. Just left filming it and watching.
Interviewing her. What are you feeling right now?
Please.
Extreme pain. Stab the shit out of. And then, of course, you would have, I don't know if you like this, I did. Gail reports and Ghostface gives chase to her and chases her into the Blair Witch Woods. Yes.
And then it turns into Blair Witch. And it's the moment from Blair Witch Project that is that really, when it wasn't intended, it was not intentional for that shot to be the way that it is. It was just accidentally a little bit zoomed in and just the framing was off. It was not intentionally shot like that for Blair Witch Project. That shot with that it's like coming from underneath and you can see a little bit of a snot coming out of her nose and all that.
Children, the snot shot,
So in Scary Movie, because Scary Movie takes all of those elements and just dials it up, it is a fucking torrent of snot just pouring out of her nose throughout the entire thing.
It's so disgusting. I could take a lot, but Jesus Christ. And it's fake as fuck, but it's so because it's so much,
funny.
So torrential. It's horrendous.
It's so fucking funny. Oh my
it's
God.
funny. It is. It's good. It's good. Okay, Brenda at the movies. Watching Shake a Spear in Love.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Okay, we've covered that. It's brilliant. Just go watch it. It's brilliant. Ray.
It's essentially the opening for Scream 2.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, it
is what happens. So you got Ray and Brenda. They're going to see a movie, and Ray has gone to go to the bathroom, and so he gets. In a similar way to how Omar Epps gets killed in Scream 2 in that opening. But instead in this one, because obviously you have this openly closeted character, it's a glory hole and it's a dick that's coming through it, and it goes
like the Dr. Fives phone from back in the day, the spike through the air, but it's a dick.
Yeah. And then Brenda gets killed. Just many people stabbing her because she just will not shut up during this movie.
And that is again when she comes onto the stage in front of the movie screen. That's the Scream 2 calling back. Okay. Because remember, this is 2000 people. This is 2000, and I Know What You Did was 99. Yeah. Okay. Party at Cindy's house. Mock of garage door death. We've covered that. Bobby and Cindy in bed.
Yeah.
This is the big moment, you know,
Oh my
that both of
God.
the loving couple have been
Yeah.
waiting for. She is ready. She says that she is ready,
God.
and then the two teens
Yeah.
become
She's also
tongue-tied.
trashed. She's
She is
trashed.
trashed, and the two teens become tongue-tied.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Yes. It's like, okay. Waka, waka, waka.
Yeah.
Downstairs, this is a bit of parallel action, yeah.
Mm.
Cuts to one thing, then the other, and kind of build up in momentum. Yeah, both parts, yeah. Downstairs, Shorty can see dead people. The weed is good. And the aquarium is requisitioned as a bomb
That's a
because we run
bomb.
out of papers.
Yeah.
Ghostface arrives and joins in on the session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, upstairs. Cindy is finding her inner self and is starting to go buck wild.
Oh my
Downs.
God. Yeah. She's really going for it.
Oh.
She's so aggressive.
Mm.
So aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Downstairs, Ghostface is impersonating Jason to the stoners. He
Yeah,
does
yeah.
the
He's doing the noise.
and then he does the fave scary movie, and I got you
Yeah.
like a fish lines as a prank
Yeah.
call on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then upstairs, Cindy goes full kaiju.
Oh my God. She literally gets blasted onto the
And
ceiling.
Bobby loses his spider senses all over the shop. Yeah.
Like, yeah, she gets like, so she's riding him, and it
Mm.
ends with her getting blasted onto the ceiling.
But she is roaring to a monstrous degree.
Oh
She
yeah,
causes an earthquake.
she
She
is.
causes an
Yeah.
earthquake down from
Yeah, like as it
downstairs,
yeah, it shots
shaking.
to downstairs and everything's
Yeah, that's
shaking.
why I say kaiju. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I use kaiju there. And when you watch it, the spider senses that's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. It is funny.
Yeah.
Okay, girlfriend's freestyle. Oh, girlfriend, stop saying girlfriend, you fucking idiot. Ghostface freestyle, yeah, when they did the rap
Yeah.
cipher
Yeah.
downstairs,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I thought, no, it's fucking hard. This is
Mm.
hard as fucking nails. All right, this is, remember, the horror iceberg, so I'm going to recite this, yes. Gonna slit your throat, fuck you like a goat, peel your foreskin off and make you a winter coat. Peace. This is a mainstream blockbuster movie in 2000.
Oh, it's
Fuck
so
you
good.
like a goat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna slit your throat, peel your foreskin off, and make a winter coat.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Loved it. Loved it. And of course, with his knife and hook, he has killed all of the other stoners around him
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
Shorty.
Yeah.
And then Shorty goes, "That's the hardest bars cipher I've ever seen." It was great.
Yeah.
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 Really liked that moment.
Yeah.
Upstairs, Cindy and
I
Bobby.
will, yeah, I'll
Huh?
be back in a moment.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's take a break at this moment, so then we can pause at this next
Yeah.
subject moment and movie.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Done. Dun-dun. Hello. Okay. Excuse me. You good?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And we're back. Upstairs, Cindy and Bobby live out the 90s horror cliche, her words, of him being the killer.
Mm.
The classic scream moment. Ghostface runs in and stabs Bobby. He chases Cindy, but he is, of course, clumsy. Yeah. Bobby's reveal at the front door. We all go a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lame little fucking Cheshire cat shit. Shoots Shorty in the lungs. You know, you want to hit this shit. Yeah, so
Because
stupid.
obviously he's still got like weed smoke just billowing out of it.
And there's ketchup on Bobby's shirt, and Ray
Yeah.
is the second killer. At this stage. Cindy asked for a plot motive for us, so we're just you know the moment, yeah. There are people. Okay, so Bobby, did Scream have a plot? Did I Know What You Did Last Summer make any real sense? Bobby's motive comes down to a lack of
He just got blue balls.
a
That's
lack
why
of
he started
sex.
murdering
Now,
people. He's
but
got
did you
blue balls.
check this story? And I mean, I'm not harping on or anything, but
Yeah.
Bobby's motive comes down to a lack of sex, which can lead to strange, deviant behavior. And Ray did love her, but he's taken time to find himself, and he now realizes that he is gay. Yes, because a lack of sex can lead to strange, deviant behavior.
Yeah.
See how that reads?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, guys, Ray has found himself and is now gay.
Yeah.
Ray goes to stab Bobby, and I must.
Oh, there's
Please,
a
we
bit
must
where they're
mention
talking about
this twist. Yeah, go. Yeah,
there's a bit
with
where they're
Ray.
talking about yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got it.
So basically it's playing into the homoerotic subtext between Billy and Stu. It's playing into that. So yeah, the two of so Bobby's out there like, oh no, like the two of us, we're like gay lovers. And Ray's like, what are you talking about?
I'm not gay.
Yeah.
But you played but you went to that club. Yeah, they play good music.
You took me to that club. Yeah, they play good music there.
Oh.
We made love. You sucked my dick.
We went to San Francisco. Yeah, I wanted to go shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good, really good. And then you sucked my dick.
Yeah.
So yeah. Fucking hell.
TV shows don't make people into psycho killers. Canceling TV shows does. And he starts going on like while stabbing, like,
the
Wayans TV show. It
that's where we're up
better.
to. That's where we're up to. And then there was also a nice twist of character and Scream reference when Ray goes to stab Bobby, but Bobby's the pussy. Yeah. I thought that was a nice twist of both of those things.
Ray does a really good Matthew Lillard impersonation where he's just like being a little bit like over the top, and he's just got spit just flying from his mouth. It's really, really good little moment there.
Yeah, and the Wayans could do it. You're exactly correct there. During the Wayans Brothers got a stab into the industry, for canceling their show.
Yeah.
Okay, Cindy and Ghostface perform a Matrix bullet time fight scene. Yeah,
it's so good. She's doing a little Irish jig at one point,
and he starts getting into it. And goes, "What the fuck am I doing?"
It's so good.
Fuck you, Michael Flaherty.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, if that was his name.
Oh my god, it's so good.
And when this would have dropped as well, because what was Matrix 99?
Matrix was 99. Yeah,
99
for the
Matrix,
Matrix.
The year before. So they're right on the button, fucking South Park does with these things.
Yeah.
Just really kind of corny.
Yeah.
Little versions of them. Ghostface is defeated and Dad is freed. Yeah. Okay, the cops arrive and Dad is just a disaster.
Yeah, he's like, no, okay, so
Yeah, but I'm
As
cool.
far as they know, I'm just a
I'm cool,
plumber,
man.
and you don't know me.
This is
And
where
then
you can
yeah,
see him
so
as a
then
meth.
they're
This is a
yeah,
meth addict.
yeah,
This is,
yeah. And
yeah.
then they've come out and they're talking with the cops, and it's like, oh, like, oh, the killers, blah blah blah, and they've killed all my friends. And then the dad is like, yeah, and those sick bastards also just planted drugs all over the
Mm. All
house.
over, all over. Yeah. Yeah, you take her, but I'm cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you
I'm
saw,
free to leave,
yeah.
right?
And then you saw wounds on his neck and
Yeah,
stuff as well. And I go, there we go. Yeah, yeah, there's your meth
yeah,
addict. There's your
yeah,
white meth addict
yeah.
dad. Yeah. So that was, yeah. Cindy is the adult, which is a nice comment on the
Mm,
useless scream dad again,
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
as well in this. Um, Sheriff questions Cindy and reveals he is a kink lord. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little objects he just lays out. Here's
yeah,
my collection on the table.
yeah.
Wow. Doofy leaves sheriff's office wearing a joker's smile and a
Yeah.
jam-stained chin through the window.
Mm,
Yeah. Ghostface is not the man they killed 1 year ago, David Keegan. That is the
mm,
direct name, isn't it? That's the direct
yeah.
name lift, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm,
And then Cindy has the revelation that it's Doofy because, of
yeah.
course,
They
and
have
because
a couple of little like flashbacks to moments throughout the movie involving
mhm,
Doofy, and they have
mhm.
this realization, dropping the coffee cup, smashing on the ground.
With the poor little fish. It's a little poor little goldfish
Yeah.
just flopping
Yeah,
around. And it says Doofy porcelain. Doofy
yeah,
has a
yeah,
side business of porcelain
yeah,
goods,
yeah. And
I
then yeah,
guess.
then it cuts to him walking outside. He's shedding his doofy attire,
Hmm.
takes off his stupid little
Yeah,
mustache and all
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
He's a guy.
Yeah, a
He's
completely
not
different
doofy.
actor. Yes, he does the Kaiser
Yeah.
Soze moment
Yep.
because, of course, Unusual Suspects
Yep.
was a big movie of the
Yep.
time,
And he
of
hops into the
course.
car
Yes, and he drives
along
away in
with
a corp
Gail.
with Gail, and then
Yep.
Cindy does her no to
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Because
referential
he's left.
aerial
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah. He's left behind on the road as the sheriff and Cindy come out onto the road, and they see all that's left is just the remnants of this doofy costume, and then also a
Hmm.
ghost face mask.
Then she's run over and
Yeah.
and you get a Slim Shady, you get
Yeah.
Ghostface song in this, his bars are brought in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then at the very, very end, there is Shorty, whatever. But the
Yeah.
very, very end, you get Huey breaking up with his beloved vacuum cleaner. But
Yeah.
just once more. Just one
Yeah.
more time.
Yeah. One for the road.
Yeah. And it's a scary movie from
Yeah.
2000 from the Wayans Brothers. Yeah, just from
Um,
that whole collective.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's iconic.
It's iconic, and I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad this movie
Yeah.
exists and
Mm.
that it came
Yeah.
out. Yes, because blacks like horror movies. Yes,
Yes.
and they've got
Yeah.
their own sense of humor, certainly in the year
Yeah.
2000. I don't think there's nothing wrong with this movie, and it does not all work for me comedy wise because again,
Mm.
it's exhausting. It's
Yeah.
like Anchorman or
Yeah.
anything like that
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But because of what this film's working with
Mm.
Scream, because I like Scream, and it
Yeah.
worked in, I know, really well.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Script's really good, and there are funny as fuck moments that I
Yeah.
do,
Yes.
generally laugh
Yeah.
out loud to. The best being Black People TV. Um, yeah, no, I do like it overall. I do like it overall, and I
Yeah.
would recommend it to people as long as they keep in mind this is for the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep
Mm.
that in
Yeah.
mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, cool. What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
Uh,
Now that we've gone
I
through it
mean,
again and we've watched
yeah.
it again, because did you rewatch
Yeah.
recent two? You did? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, cool,
Yes.
cool.
Like I said, every so often I find myself just, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch all the
Hmm.
scary movies.
Okay, it's a comfort
So
movie.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, not really like a comfort movie. It's more just like, yeah, like let's watch something dumb that's parodying horror. Like,
sure.
and yeah, there's a lot of stuff about it that, yeah, there's stuff about it that hasn't aged well, or just isn't super great. But as a whole, I still have a lot of fun
Mhm.
because you have like the fact that it's really obvious that a lot of thought has been put into it in terms of
Yeah.
meshing together the storylines of multiple movies in a way that makes
Yes.
some degree of sense. And then also
Yes.
allowing for like coming up with all these different little jokes referencing
Mhm.
movies. And then, okay, how are we going to integrate them
There's a
into this movie? And then
obvious
also
love
like
of
a
the
lot of the,
subgenre.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a love of the subgenre. You can
yeah.
see
And
it.
then the
Yeah.
comedy itself, like a lot of the jokes do land for me because,
Same.
like
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll still like lose my shit at some dumb stuff that happens in South Park. So, I would say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
if you
yes.
enjoy the
Big fan.
stupid,
Yeah. Yeah.
ridiculous comedy that is South Park, then yeah, you'll
Mhm.
enjoy the scary movies. Like they're
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
intellectual humor or anything like that. It's
Mhm.
very much like, a 12-year-old boy would be interested in it kind of thing. But like, that's
Mhm.
fine. I'm here for
Absolutely.
it.
No, absolutely. And we do that. And the Wayans brothers, they've
Mm.
adapted to the times
Yeah.
changing, as has South
Yeah.
Park as
Yeah.
well. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But we still need this type of thing. We do need,
Mm.
as I pointed out at the very, very beginning, we need the
Yeah.
jesters, we need the
Mm.
fools. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, we can't be taking ourselves too
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
And this was a device for that at the time, because
Mm.
in horror we can't be taking ourselves too seriously,
No.
because when that happens
No.
in horror, things get very wanky, very annoying,
Yeah.
and the actual art form goes down because of it
Mm.
as well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And one thing that horror has been, actually maintaining and keeping up and been really why it's really cool. I think people like it because it is open. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
largely devoid of gatekeepers and that sort of
Mm.
thing. People find
Yeah.
a refuge there,
Mm.
and these
Yeah.
guys found a refuge in their for their humor at this
Mm.
time in the
Yeah.
2000, and their love of horror, and a place to combine
Yeah.
the two
Yeah.
and make bank off it. And
Yeah.
cool, well done,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Because
And
I
they helped
mean,
pave the way
mm.
for Jordan Peele. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
this, you know what
Because
I mean?
yeah, like horror and comedy are
Hot
essentially two
take.
sides of this. Yeah. Yeah. Horror and comedy are two sides of the same coin
A
in
thousand
that,
percent.
it's the same general concept in that you have the setup and then you have the punchline kind
And
of
you have
thing.
hold
And
in the
then,
body and then release,
yeah,
whether it's
yeah.
through a scream, a jump, or a
Yeah.
laugh.
And in terms of what is actually effective on someone is something that is subjective. And then, yeah,
Yes,
in
cultural,
referencing, yeah,
social,
yeah,
etc.,
yeah,
etc., etc.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Jordan Peele,
Mm, mm.
like he's from Key and Peele. He did like
Absolutely.
comedy
Yeah,
skits.
yeah, yeah.
He's from comedy stuff. And some
Their
of his
first.
comedy stuff are like there's a really fantastic um zombie one that they've done. Like Key and
Okay.
Peele is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
zombie
yeah,
thing, and
yeah.
it's like this,
You
and
could see
that one's
moments,
worth
yeah.
looking.
You could see
Yeah,
moments coming
yeah,
through. And
yeah. So
also in terms of his
he came from
comedy,
comedy, but
if I
yeah.
may, his comedy as well with his partner, Keenan, they came
Mm,
out of a barber shop or something. I forget what it
mm,
was, but they're just out of a building and they were looking around. And the whole skit was like telling each other that they called their wife a bitch. But of course they didn't. But if their
mm,
wife hears them telling this
yeah,
story, they're going to get in real trouble. And then
yeah,
they go up into a tree and they're
yeah,
hiding in a tree. Going, yeah, I called her a bitch.
yeah.
And then they're in space. Yeah. And so, and because comedy needs to be just that little bit more
Yeah.
that's
Mm,
outside of your comfort range. And that's
yeah.
why horror is effective. That's why comedy is
Mm,
effective as well.
yeah.
And this certainly was even for its time.
Yeah.
But I don't think in a bad way. Point I'm trying to make here in a
Mm,
haphazard way. There's
yeah.
no bad intent behind any of this. So if you're
No.
hesitant behind it because of these
Yeah.
reasons, because a lot of people do frame it this
Mm,
way nowadays,
yeah.
keep
Yeah.
it in mind. It is what it is for its time for comedy. But it's all
Yeah.
for good intent, and the fact that this got black people into the horror
Mm,
space. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a big way, in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's a good script. It's funny. And once you let all
Yeah.
that go,
Yeah.
have a good time with it. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like you say, put it
Yeah.
on. You just want to have something, just relaxing to do, friends, or
Yeah.
just want
Yeah.
kill your mind, dumb your mind.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Watching it
Oh
now,
yeah.
just it's
Um,
just all still stands up.
yeah.
What would you rate it? What would you
Like
rate it?
I
Keep
still
it
have, yeah,
pushing.
I
What
still
would you
have fun with
rate
it.
it?
Yeah. Um, I can't rate it any higher than a 3 out of 5. As much as I genuinely enjoy it, and appreciate, all the stuff that we said about it, singing its praises, those particular aspects of it that isn't so great and hasn't aged so well, means that I can't rate it any higher than a 3, but like I still
Yeah,
really
that's fair.
fucking
That's
love
fair.
this movie.
Yeah, cool. Cool. So what is it? Is it a 3.5 or just a 3?
3.
Okay, you're gonna go
3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I'm gonna give it a two and
Mm.
a half. And that's not
Yeah.
shitting on it because I gave
Yeah.
Friday the 13th 2.5 for
Yeah.
children. This is all relative as well. And that's not a bad score, that it makes it not a bad movie. This is basically like a 50 out of 100.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is a what is 50? I think 50 is a C. I don't think it's even a C minus. I think it's a C. It's
Yeah.
a pass.
I don't know.
It's a
Yeah.
definite pass. I'm giving this a
Mm.
definite pass. And for me, it's a little bit more kind of the humor, that this type of humor of this, just kind of this 1-2 punch, 1-2
Yeah.
punch, and just gets a little exhausting.
Yeah.
But funny as fuck moments, though. Of course,
Yeah.
funny as
Yeah.
fuck moments, and horror needs its satire. Horror
Yeah.
needs its satire. Yeah, it needs to be satirized as well as to I take a look at things satirically as well, because I really like horror satire. You know what I mean? Like satire horror. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it. Scary movie. Fuck.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I was a little
Yeah.
nervous. It's bizarre.
It's
No, horror movie's
fine.
fine, but it's just like a fucking scary movie. 2024. Fucking internet. But so cool. Thank you for doing it. And thank you
Yeah,
for
no worries.
if you're still here, children of the popcorn. If any of you are still here to the very end, thank you. We are getting back to Human Centipede 2. Don't worry. The tier 3 begins, next week. And just to position things, bear with me one moment there, Dorian. It's 15th of August, and we are, we're just done Scary Movie. We're about to release Midsummer in a couple of days. We've just done Bliss of Evil. Next week we're doing Human Centipede. Tomorrow with the Baron, I'm doing Psycho 2. Yeah. So if you're just wondering where the things are at, it all makes sense once all the stuff is released and we're back on track. Yeah. But whatever, it's podcast time. It always happens. Who cares? Human Centipede 2.
Yes.
Yeah. The strange, dirty man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's so good as an actor. I mean, I've obviously only seen him in Human Centipede 2 and 3, but like he's so good.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah. Nice chap as well. I forget where I heard the interview with him.
Spooky Astronauts did an interview with him.
Okay, yeah, cool. Check that out. Yeah, there you go. There's a nice recommendation. Check that out and prep for next week. For next time, you can definitely find Human Centipede anywhere. I watched there's all 5s on Stan of the scary movies. Yeah, if you wanna watch them there. Okay.
Scary Movie 4, like I said, it opens with Dr. Phil and Shaquille O'Neal locked in the bathroom from Saw. And how that cold open ends is Dr. Phil saws off his foot, but he's sawed off the wrong foot. Oh my God.
Okay.
And that's really funny to me, okay? Like, I think that's hilarious.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was a like 12, 13-year-old watching Happy Tree Friends and thinking that that was the pinnacle of comedy. So
The high point. Um, yeah, no, yeah. I like comedy, but not, yeah. I like stand-up. It's a different world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's my comedy. That's my comedy. But this comedy's fine. This comedy's fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it existing as I'm fine with this movie existing.
yeah,
Absolutely. I'm glad we did it. I think it works. Yeah? You
yeah.
you reckon it was a good idea in the end
Yes,
doing this? Yeah,
yes,
cool. Cool.
yes.
Cool.